Hi, this is Bobby Brown, and welcome to another fucking podcast.
My liver's all twisted up. But you know what I did? I loaded up with alcohol, more specifically vodka, whiskey, beer, tequila, more beer, more vodka, more whiskey, and more beer.
Who wants an orange whip? Orange whip? Orange whip? 3 orange whips.
So you're bored, are ya? I've come here to break your monotony. Let me have my piece, because I'm shooting with this one, folks. I don't care, man. The unscripted, uncensored, loose cannon of commentary.
Why did you say that? Why? Why? You come out with stink like that? Poop. Your poop mouth. Poop out of your mouth.
See, son? Old legends never die. They just lose weight.
Like a legend and an out-of-work bum look a lot alike, Daddy.
I've got a midget friend, an albino friend, and another friend who thinks Lord of the Rings is real. Together we call ourselves the Unfuckables.
Quinton is in. Let the fun begin.
Body touch.
God, you're an asshole, man.
I've never heard of Danielle.
Hello, Hollywood. Hello, world. Hello, my loyal minions. It is good to see you, and it's always good to be seen. I am Izzy Presley, and this is Metal Edge Magazine's another fucking podcast, Drunk It Summit style. Oh, we are going to have a good one tonight. Good one tonight. Lots of Italians on here, lots of New Yorkers on here.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
always like that. Yeah, so basically, we're just going to talk about how Midwestern pizza is so superior to New York pizza that it's not even funny.
I feel bad for you.
Yeah. Guys, make sure you hit up all the social media at Real Izzy Presley all the way across the board, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And of course, the show page is Another Effing Podcast. Hit up Metal Edge Magazine on Instagram and Facebook as well. And you guys know, buy the t-shirts, all that kind of stuff. We have a great show for you this evening. We will be debating at the end of the show, Black Sabbath, Heaven and Hell. This is Ozzy Osbourne to the fucking blizzard of Osman. But before we get to that, first, let me introduce you to this amazing panel, my co-host, my cohort in all of her glory. Ladies and gentlemen, Paul Gargano, Metal Edge Magazine. Welcome back.
Her glory. You're just going to confuse everybody now. Are we allowed to joke like that in the year 2021?
No.
Only if you have a mask. Shit, if you wear a mask, it's okay.
Yeah,
it's okay. First timer. I've been bugging him for a long time. I haven't seen him since NAMM. Mr. Frank Bello from Anthrax and Altitudes and Attitude. Welcome, my friend.
Hello, Izzy. What's going on, kid?
It's good to see you, man.
Same here. I'm done shoveling. No more snow. I'm happy. I'm not bitching anymore. I'm done. I want sun.
There you go.
We're good to go.
My God, from the Cult, from White Zombie, from Testament, from Exodus, Mr. John Tempesta.
What is going on? In Lehman High School, Bronx, New York, where Frankie and I went to high school together.
That's right.
Wow.
Freaking ruckus in there. Yeah.
Before we bring in the guest of honor, let's throw one back for the working man, in the words of my good friend Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Oh, good boy.
Proper number 12, baby. And ladies and gentlemen, from Heaven and Hell / Black Sabbath, from the Ronnie James Dio Band, and currently last in line, Mr. Vinny Appice.
Yeah.
Hello there.
Welcome, my friend.
Vinny!
To be here.
Let's not forget Derringer, one of my favorite bands back in the day.
And
you always know
Beyond the Universe.
That's that. Oh yeah, Sweet Evil.
All that shit.
And John Lennon too.
Yeah.
Let's not forget about John Lennon.
Right.
Wow,
yeah, amazing.
This is the promo copy for which one is this? I don't know. It's the one with him and Yoko. Double Fantasy. That's the promo copy.
That one.
Oh, that one. Just that one.
The one with him and Yoko.
Yeah, the one with him and Yoko. Before we get into the stuff, Frankie, is there anything that you need to pimp right off the top of the board here?
No, just no, I'm good. I have nothing to promote. I'm writing a record. That's it. Hey, I have a book coming out. Imagine that.
There you forgot.
Not till later this year. A lot of anger in that one.
Nice.
A lot of anger.
Frank, you've got some great, like, over the past years, the year's been good to your hair. You've got some good COVID hair going.
Well, you know what it is? It's called shower.
Oh,
I showered.
I don't know what those are.
Shower, yeah.
I figured I got the letter from the Board of Health. It was time, so I had to.
You were harvesting the cure for COVID in your hair, yeah.
Dude, I just let it go. Whatever it goes, I cut my hair first when this thing started because I didn't want to deal with it. I cut it, and now I don't know what the hell happened. I don't care anymore.
Frankie, all I know is we survived Mega Cruise and NAMM. I think we're gonna be okay. I ate a fucking Starburst unwrapped off the floor at NAMM.
I'm all about, dude.
All right.
I'm looking forward to all that again with everybody here. I'm looking forward to every one of those moments, creating new moments. I can't wait.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And Izzy, I just gotta say that Starbucks off the floor at NAMM is probably healthier than half the shit that's on your Instagram feed. So.
Oh, absolutely. Starburst.
Or whatever. Sorry.
John.
Star-kissed.
Star-kissed. Oh yeah, very well.
Yeah,
John,
tuna.
you got anything you've been working on that needs a little pimping?
Yeah, I finished we're actually finishing right now the other band I'm in, Motor Sister, with Jim Wilson, Scott Ian, Perla Day, and
awesome.
And Joey Berra. So yeah, we just finished the overdubs, and Jay Rustin's going to mix it very soon.
Oh,
so
nice.
Looking forward to that. As a matter of fact, we just finished right before the lockdown. It was almost a year now. Yeah, it would have been a year this Thursday, actually. That's when we finished. It was the last day. And I had a heads up about, like, they're going to lock down LA from a friend of mine. So gave everybody the little zing. And right after I got done, I fucking drove right to the market and stocked up. I'm like, that's it, man. And went home. They haven't left in about 6 months or some shit. So weird.
Buy that toilet paper and the fucking hand sanitizer.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Ass wipe. The fucking wipes. Those are like gold.
You know what's gold? Hey, Izzy, you know what's gold? I saw this for $12 a fucking can the other day.
Oh,
$12 a fucking can.
Jesus Christ.
Unbelievable.
Do you see that guy that stocked up his garage when this first started?
Yeah.
Freaking
And he was selling it, and then they busted him, and now he's sitting on all this crap.
Yeah.
Stuck with it.
Get it in the store now.
Unbelievable.
Oh God. I mean, I drive Lyft out here, and I literally had a gal get in just a couple weeks ago, and she had a can of sanitizer or fucking disinfectant, starts spraying it all over the car before she gets in, and puts down plastic before she sits down.
Oh Jesus.
And I'm just in the front going, whatever.
Your reputation precedes you, Izzy.
Yeah, right. It'll cover up that my natural scent of flop, sweat, hopelessness, and feet. So we're good. Vinny, and this is so ironic. When Paul and I decided last week that this is what we were going to do, I had no idea that the Black Sabbath reissues were coming out, and it worked out absolutely perfect because now we got you here. And Heaven and Hell and Mob Rules, the reissues are now out.
Yeah, they just came out. Apparently, Geezer doesn't have any, but I do.
Right. Did you have any input?
Nah. They put some live thing on there. I haven't even heard it yet. You know, it's like usual.
I love that.
People tell me how it sounds. They tell me how it sounds. Yeah,
I'm sure it's
thing sounds good. Yeah, okay. I'll have to listen to
great.
it.
That's pretty much how it goes.
It's remastered.
Remastered, yeah. And there's a lot of extra shit, like live shit and stuff like that on there too.
Yeah, a couple of live tracks. Yeah. So.
I want to hear it. Damn it!
I always wondered with the remastered. It's like, what the frig was wrong with the original master? You know, it became a classic album the way it was, and then all this remastered stuff is okay. Whatever.
Well, it was really annoying for me because when I was going back and listening to all these albums, I would keep telling the person whose name I can't say, or she'll start playing music in the background, play Black Sabbath, Heaven and Hell on Apple Music. That would be, I would tell her to do that, and she would default to the new one that only had 2 tracks released, and it was driving me crazy because I couldn't default it back to the original version. So it was. Does that make sense to anybody? Is anyone else a total like?
It does, but then you just got to put on the album. Just put on the vinyl and you'll be fine.
That's it. Vinyl.
Yeah.
I don't. Now Alexa's talking to me in the background. I blew it, but I said her name. Oh.
I was actually out looking for it yesterday, but I couldn't find it. But I saw this. The Elvis Black Leather sit-down shows 1 and 2 on vinyl. So I said,
awesome.
Okay, I guess
Nice.
Awesome.
Nice.
Vinny, why don't you tell us a little bit about how you started with Sabbath? Because you started during the tour, correct?
Yeah. Actually, a funny story is right before Sabbath contacted me, I got contacted by Sharon Osbourne, and she was telling me they were going to put a new band together with Ozzy. And, he was kicked out of Sabbath. And we heard about you and we'll fly you to England to hang out with Ozzy. I went, oh, wow, so fucking cool, So that was, I don't know, I must have been 20 years old. So I thought, let me call my brother Carmine, because he toured with Sabbath years ago. He knows Ozzy and all that shit. So I called Carmine. I said, is Ozzy crazy? Should I go over there? I didn't even know where England was. I'd never been out of the country except for Canada with Derringer. So I talked to Carmine. He goes, yeah, he's pretty crazy. Last time I saw him, he had his plate, his head in a plate of spaghetti at the Rainbow. He just fell out in the spaghetti. So I thought, oh, shit. So I turned it down. And then about a month later, I got a call from Sabbath. And they said they're looking for a drummer. They heard about me. Do you want to come down and meet Tony Iommi at the hotel? I said, sure, because that was in L.A. It was easy. So I went down, met Tony, and he had a band, an album under his arm, a band I was with called Axis, 3-power trio, and it was produced by Andy Johns. And he liked it. He goes, this is good. This is good. So I met Tony. We hit it off. And then the next, he said, come down to rehearsal tomorrow. So I went down to SIR. And I didn't really know any of the songs. I heard Neon Nights on the radio about a week before. They go, what do you want to play? I knew Neon Nights was fast, and there wasn't really any stops except one in it, so I can get through to that point. And then it continued after that. So as long as we made the stop, I was cool. So that's the first song we ever played together. And then they said, you're in. I had 3 days to rehearse and learn all that shit. And I didn't know the old Sabbath stuff. I've heard it, but playing it's different, Yeah. And then 30, whatever, how many years later, the last song I played with Ronnie was Neon Nights.
Wow.
That was like a journey of Neon Nights and Neon Nights and everything in between for 37 years.
That's so great.
So were they already
I didn't obviously do the Ozzy thing. I called her up.
Right. Was there any regrets after you heard the record?
Which record? Ozzy?
The Ozzy record, yeah.
No, didn't that come out when Holy Diver came out?
I think, wasn't Heaven and Hell first?
Heaven and Hell album was Bill Ward.
Heaven and Hell was first.
Then we did Mob Rules.
Okay.
Yeah. No, there was no regret. No.
Okay.
Because,
No,
I know what you meant, Izzy. I got you. I'm following.
Yeah.
I feel you. I feel you.
But Vin, can I ask a question?
Please.
So how was that? I never asked you this. We talked a million times. Just as a fan, how was that vibe? You came into that jam, that first Sabbath jam. No intimidation, no weirdness. Like you knew the band. Was there any weirdness playing the songs?
It was so. 3 days rehearsal. So So they said you're in. Then I turned to, okay, we got to learn this shit. So there's no fanboy shit. There's nothing.
Right.
So straight.
I straight on, like, okay, I'm a team player here. We got to make this the best we can. So I just honed in on listening. Every minute I listened to those songs, made cheat sheets, had a book, all that shit, and then I had to kind of play like Bill Ward, and there's some weird, Bill played some great parts,
Different. It's different.
Yeah. So there was never any like, wow, I'm playing with these guys. Not till later on when I could relax. I go, hey, this is pretty cool. I got
That's what I'm saying.
Theo in front of me, and then I got the boys on the side, and then later on, years later, I played with Ozzy and the boys. So that was that. I sat there and went, "This is pretty cool." Maybe it's the original band too, you know.
So it's get the work done first, and then enjoy and say, "Wow, this is real." I love that, man. It's so cool.
Yeah, it was total work ethic. Like boom, boom, boom. You know, I had to make it the best I could.
I love that. That's great.
And a lot of people say when they step into big shoes like that, the goal you're going into it, and you have to. Don't try to be like last week we were talking about AC/DC and we had Ricky Warwick on here and he was talking about stepping into Thin Lizzy and like, you know, you can't try to mimic too much. You have to just be your own person. You have to play your own. When you're going into Bill Ward's shoes, do you go, so you actually wanted to sound as much like Bill Ward as you could and not make it your own. You were taking that opposite approach.
Certain parts that Bill played that you had to play. And then in between that, because then I would be me. And play the feel of the song, and it was less to learn too. It's hard to play somebody's feel when it's totally different than yours. You know?
Mm-hmm.
So that worked, and then eventually I got comfortable. And ironically, you know, Tony and Geezer from England and the way they played, I locked right into that stuff. You know, I learned to play behind the beat from playing with mainly Tony. Tony's so fucking solid, you know. It's just like play the song Black Sabbath. There's almost no time to it.
That's right.
They played it.
You guys locked in so good. It's so powerful, the connection between you two. And
I like to call it thick.
Yeah.
It's like a thickness, you know. I love that thickness of it all, man.
Yeah,
it's so cool.
It is. And then I learned to play behind the beat and realized, look how heavy it is when you're not pushing it, man. You know,
and you lay in, man. That's the whole thing. I'm not kissing butt. I just love this stuff. So you lay in. Even with the Geezer stuff, see, this is bass nerd coming in because I grew up on all this stuff. It's just a magic. It's really like a beautiful magic. It really is.
I always put it like this. I said, Sabbath is not in any rush to get to the end of the song.
That's right.
It just fucking plays.
Let's just go.
It's all locked in, you know, some behind a little bit, you know, moving, and then not in a rush to get to the end of the song. So it was cool.
Did you catch like I know Ronnie caught some hell at the beginning, you know, for being the new guy. Did you catch hell for being the new guy from the crowds?
Not really, because you know you're the drummer, you're sitting in the back, you know.
Right.
I hit him with a stick, you know.
Oh, that guy flipped me off.
Ronnie had to put up with people in the front, like "Where's Ozzy" signs, and all this "Where's Ozzy" stuff, and he had to do that. And he hated singing those songs. He hated singing Iron Man and Sweet Leaf and the Ozzy songs. So that's why eventually it went to Heaven and Hell years later. So we didn't play the old stuff anymore.
Yeah,
so he had to put up with that.
I've never seen video of Ronnie singing those songs. I mean, how did he sound singing those songs? Did it sound
sounded great? It was,
well, yeah, I mean, obviously
voice.
it's Ronnie, but compared to what we're used to with Ozzy.
Yeah, it was totally different. You know, it was just a powerful voice singing the melody and the whole thing, you know, so it was incredible. Funny thing, when I joined as Tony and Geezer from Birmingham in England, and the heavy accents, and I wasn't around British people, so I couldn't understand them. they'd say something, I'd go, "Hey Ronnie, what did they say?" What'd he say? And he would tell me. He was an interpreter.
He was your interpreter.
That's great.
And then I got used to the language and the accent and all that, and then we became, you know, real tight. We got along great. So.
Hey Vin, one more question, nerd guy here.
Go for it. As many as you want.
The first couple of shows, I'm always wondering, you know, the specific songs that have certain tempos, all that stuff. Did you ever get the look over like this from either Geezer or Tony? Is, you know, the look over and you get the look, you know, for tempo? Did that ever happen?
You know, on the first couple of gigs, I probably got the look from Tony, but it was like almost okay. What about the rest of the song? I'm starting it a little fast, but hopefully we'll get through the rest of the song.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I don't know if I had a metronome to start the songs, like, you know, what's the tempo of these songs? Yeah. but it was a lot to remember. But sometimes I would get the look, even when we settled in, we'd be playing. I do some crazy ass fucking roll, and Tony would look up and like at me, and then he'd say at the end of the show, "Hey Vin, you know that roll you did there?" I said, "Yeah, Tom." Because maybe you shouldn't do it there. I said, no problem, Tom. Next night I did it double. And he knew I was messing with him, so he was cracking up.
I love it. The machine gun snare rolls. Man.
Oh,
yeah,
dude.
Yeah. Some of the fast
powerful.
rolls and these slow songs, a lot of room for it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Tony would get freaked out when sometimes if the sound was wrong, we couldn't hear each other and stuff. He would, you see him come close to the drums and Geezer, but all in all, we just played well together.
How was your monitor system back then? Obviously, there was
fucking loud as shit.
I would say probably.
I had two. They were monitors called Harwells, which were two big as refrigerators, one on either side behind me, and it just blasted. It was so loud. It was like, that's the only way to play that stuff. You can't play
the good old days.
You can't play that shit with in-ears. I never use in-ears. I still, even with Last
You still don't?
Wow.
No, have loud monitors.
So what did you have in the mix? You have Geezer and Tony?
I had a little bit of bass, and it had a lot of Tony and a lot of vocal and a lot of drums.
Wow.
The bass can carry over, but I like a lot of fucking guitar, man. I like, and then the vocals sitting on stuff. At the end of the Heaven and Hell tour, 2009, everybody was so loud. Tony was so loud. Geezer was so loud. And then Tony couldn't hear himself, so he would add a monitor here and there around the stage. Then Geezer would do the same thing. Mine just got louder, and then Ronnie would put some up in the truss in front of the drums. There was 32 monitor mixes.
Holy shit.
32 different mixes on stage for different monitors for everybody. I don't know how Ronnie could sing, because you stand in the middle, you're okay. As soon as you moved over, your pant leg would vibrate from Tony. On the other side, your whole body would vibrate from Geezer. So loud.
Everybody's got their own world, right?
Yep.
It's crazy. It's a crazy stage, man. I love that.
Yeah, we didn't play. Actually, we played a show with Foreigner, and they were on before us. So I'm watching them. Jeff Pilson's a good buddy, and they're playing with in-ears, and I'm standing with somebody. He goes, "What happened? Whatever happened to the day where the bands played with amps?" I said, "Just wait a half an hour." And we went on and was like, forget it.
I've heard so many players talk about how they used in-ears, and then like something went out, so they pulled the in-ear off, and they could hear the crowd, and like, oh my God, that's what that's like. I forgot what that's like,
Yeah, I'd never play with in-ears. Matter of fact, my friends play in Warrant. They used to live close to me here, Eric Turner. And he says, come down they're playing a winery. Come down, man, get up. We'll play Mob Rules at the end. I went, cool. And then that time comes, I get up, and right before that, I'm looking, I go, this guy, the drummer, Steve, not using monitors. What am I going to fucking do? He's not going to let me use his in-ears. So I got up. I went, shit. So I just played it by memory, and they played to me. And I heard some of the PA. But it freaked me out. I'm like, I didn't even realize that they don't have monitors, So.
Oh, I forgot to say this. Hold on, Paul, just really quick. I forgot to say this at the top of the show. On behalf of Minnesota Twins fans everywhere, fuck the Yankees. Anyway, so Paul, what were you gonna say?
Where'd that come from?
Why'd that come from?
Where is that?
Because I'm on.
You got a bunch of New Yorkers on here.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay.
Hey, rest his soul. Ronnie James Dio was a diehard Yankee fan, also. So I have to stick up for my boy right there too. So
that's right. I was going to say
shut up, all right?
Yeah.
My last memory, I have to say this. My last memory of the last time I saw Ronnie was in Greece. We were on top of this wonderful hotel. There's a bar on top. Just all the great sights, all that stuff. It was his birthday the day after mine. Mine's the 9th. His was the 10th. So he bought me a beer. We celebrated together. And that was my last memory. Ronnie buying me a beer and celebrating both of our birthdays at 12 o'clock. It was such a great moment, man. That's what kind of great guy that was. Talking Yankees all night. all night, man.
Oh yeah.
Vinny,
it's funny. He's totally into sports. I mean, you'd go to his house, he'd have sports on, and he's writing lyrics, and I know nothing about sports.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd sit there with him and go, "What happened? What happened there? I don't know." And he explained the rules and shit. You know, I didn't know anything. I don't really watch sports, so. But he would tell me.
Vinny, do you remember the last time you saw Ronnie?
Well, I was in the hospital.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's weird. So that was the last time, unfortunately.
He was one of the nicest guys ever, man.
Awesome. Just a beautiful person, inside and out.
Your name. He always could come up and, knew everything.
When I first joined the band on the Heaven and Hell tour in 1980, we're in arenas, we got limos now and stuff. So him and I are in the limo and we pull out of the arena and it's cold out. We were on the East Coast, winter, and we pull out to the gate and there's fans there waiting for the autograph. He goes, stop the car. And I'm like, whoa. He gets out of the car and goes to signs everything for the kids, for the fans, and it's freezing out, so, oh, wow, how cool. So I got out. They didn't know me at that point. So I signed some stuff too. And he was that kind of guy, he loved his fans. And his
everybody tells stories about that. Yeah. And his Yankees, but everybody tells stories about that. I mean, I was a journalist when all the times I knew him, and he was so gracious all the time. And every time we'd finish an interview, he would pour a beer and I was, let's just chill. Such an amazing
and he remember
guy.
Everybody's name too.
Yep.
Yes.
Not like me, George.
That's fucking impressive.
Remember, I'm glad the names are. I know these guys.
Yeah.
But as far as his singing, he's just phenomenal, man. He never had a bad night. I mean, when we toured together back in '92 and watched every single night, and he wouldn't really warm up, right? He'd just go up and just belt it out.
Yeah, that's the funny thing, because I played with singers and different people and shit, and they're all in the back singing and trying to warm up and this and that. And Ronnie would be in the dressing room with friends, and we'd be in there drinking, having a drink and stuff. And they go, "Okay, we're on," and then we go walk to the stage, and then he'd start Mob Rules and do the scream, just go into it, and it's like, holy shit.
Well, I always heard that he said, if you have to warm up, you don't got it.
Wow.
Well, he used to play trumpet, and his idol was Louis Prima, and I used to think,
oh wow,
who is this guy? But there's a special on Amazon Prime about this guy Louis Prima. This guy was unbelievable. I mean, he played the trumpet too, and this was Ronnie's idol. So this guy was just so full of energy and incredible. It's a great movie if you check it out. And Ronnie learned how to breathe from the trumpet, and I think that's just gave him the power and didn't have to warm up, and he was amazing.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. If anybody out there listening or watching, go back if you haven't and check out Ronnie and the Redcoats from his I think it was in the 50s, right?
Yeah.
Just fucking amazing stuff.
I think that's all up on YouTube, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I believe it is.
Yeah.
Where the fuck was I going to go? Anybody else have a question? Because I'm trying to think of what I was supposed to say. Paul, you got some shit written down. What do you got?
I don't have anything written down today. Today's the first day I'm flying by the seat of my. I know everybody on this one. I don't need notes. I know everybody.
Vinny, what led you to leave Black Sabbath?
Well, things were getting, after Mob Rules, we did an album called Live Evil. It was a live, and then things were getting really bad between Ronnie and Tony and Geezer. And then finally, Ronnie had a record deal on Warner Brothers in place. He was going to do a solo album while Sabbath continued, but things got really bad. And then he decided, I'm going to put my own band together. So he talked to me. He said, listen, I'm going to put my own band together. You want to join me? I went, yeah, let's do it. We live close to each other in LA. Sabbath, Tony wanted me to stay with them, but they were in England. So I thought, this would be pretty exciting. Start a new band with Ronnie, this amazing singer, and we get along so well. So that's how we left and started Dio.
Oh yeah, the reason I asked that is because of we got a couple of people in the chat room that are chiming in about how much they love the Tony Martin stuff and you weren't on that. So.
No. No, I only played in Sabbath with Ronnie, and I think I'm the only second drummer that's played with. I'm the only other guy other than Bill Ward that played with both of those.
Played with both, right?
Yeah.
What was the John Lennon story? Because I've got to. I've heard
John Lennon
things.
When I was like 16, my band was managed by the Record Plant Studios, and it was a horn band. We had 4 horn players, and Jimmy Iovine was a good friend of ours. We used to pick him up on the way to the city, and we all go to Record Plant. So he produced, and the owner of the Record Plant signed us to a management deal, and they gave us a room upstairs on the 10th floor of the Record Plant to rehearse. So it'd be like every night we'd go up there, rehearse. We didn't have to pay for anything. So one night Jimmy calls and goes, "Hey, can you guys come down? We need to do some hand claps." We go, "Sure." We didn't tell us who it was. So we go downstairs. We walk in the control room. We walk into the studio room, and we look, and we said, "There's fucking John Lennon." Jesus.
Ah, dude.
Oh my God.
He's clapping with us?
Yeah. So he stayed in the control room. Then we put the headphones on. Now he's talking to us, and you hear his voice right here. Go, holy shit. And I had to go to high school the next day.
Holy shit.
I used to go to fucking high school, and teacher would be talking and I'd be drumming, on the desk.
Yeah.
And she'd say, wait, stop. Who's that drumming? Vincent, stop that drumming. And I would stand up and tell the class, "Excuse me, did anyone else in here play with one of the Beatles last night?" And then I leave.
Fuck you.
And I walk out.
It's like the ultimate whip your dick out story. If that story didn't get you laid in high school, nothing will. Yeah, I played with John Lennon last night. Suck it. Hey.
So we did hand claps on whatever gets you through the night.
Story.
Really? So you're on whatever gets you through the night. Awesome.
Heck, check it out.
Amazing.
Recognize that?
Fucking killer.
I hear you. That tone, yes, it's you. I know it.
That's me. So we did that, and then John said, we hung out, we met him a little bit. We didn't take really pictures, we didn't bug him, and then
nobody had their phone on them.
Yeah, he goes, nobody had a phone on him. So he probably said, "Who the hell are those guys you got in 5 minutes? 9 people." No, they're upstairs. I'm producing them. Jimmy producing, blah, blah, blah. Next thing you know, we're rehearsing. Next night or two later, he comes walking in the rehearsal room and sits down on the stairs. I go, "Oh, fuck, my muscles and my arms cramped." It's like, holy shit. Wow. And he started hanging out with us. And there was a pool room next door, and we started playing pool together. We smoked joints with him, and he always wanted Coke, but I didn't do Coke. I used to smoke a lot of pot. So I smoked a couple of joints with him, and then here's the big story. We were talking about Italian food, me and John. So I said, "I'm Italian. My grandparents from Italy. My mother makes the lasagna. So good. It's homemade, So I said, "You know what? I'll have him make you some lasagna, and I'll bring it into the studio." He goes, "Okay, that's cool." So a couple of days later, my mom makes him a nice pan of lasagna. I bring the lasagna, and he takes it home because thank you. Took it home. Okay, then about a month later, my brother Carmine's playing with Rod Stewart at the Garden, like a multiple night thing, and they had a party. So he invited my parents. So my parents went, and my mother's like Mary, a little fat, Italian woman. She goes to my father, "Charlie, there's John Lennon. Let's go say hi." So Carmine brought her over.
Oh my God.
Hey guys, she's from Brooklyn. She doesn't care,
Yeah.
And Carmine brought her over to John and said, "John, this is my mother and my father, and this is Vinny's mom too, who did that." And "Oh, okay." And she goes, "Hey, I made you the lasagna. Did you like it?" And he said, "Yeah." And they talked for a while. At the end of the conversation, my mother goes, "Do you have the pan?"
Oh my God. It is so funny because Brian from Chicago just commented in the chat room and goes, "Ask Vinny about John Lennon not returning his mom's lasagna pan."
Yeah. She asked him for the pan. So we never got the pan has all the oils in it and all the years of cooking lasagna in it. We never got the pan back. We think Yoko has it.
All right, we got to get that pan from Yoko.
That
So
pan.
it's becoming a famous story now because it's so hilarious. Then we wound up doing 3 videos or 4 videos with him. That's on some of the DVDs. And then he asked us to do a live gig with him at the New York Hilton.
My God.
Imagine Slipping and Sliding and Stand By Me. And this was on TV. It was on ABC Wide World Special, right? So we did that. And we went and got jumpsuits made. He went with us in the van. I mean, it was just like another member of the band. It was ridiculous.
Wow.
And I used to go to school the next day when I went. And then I find out just about 3 or 4 years ago in a magazine, Guitar Aficionado magazine, this was John Lennon's last live appearance.
Holy shit.
And I'm like, what? I fucking played his last live appearance.
Wow.
At 16 years old.
Wow.
And I didn't know that. And it freaked me out. I was like, holy shit. And in the article, it only mentions his name and blah, blah, blah. And then my name, because I went on to play with Sabbath and stuff.
Wow.
So I was freaked out. I didn't know that, but we did that too.
Wow.
It's amazing.
Then when we went, one more story, we went, I'll keep talking. I got this.
I love this. Go. Keep going.
I'm going to write a book. Some of the pages will be blank that I don't remember. And then there'll be an Italian recipe for meatballs or something else in there too. I'm going to put recipes in the book.
Nice.
So we do the Mob Rules. We're on the Heaven and Hell tour, 1980. And Warner Brothers wants us to do a song for the movie Heavy Metal. So they agreed to do it. So we're going to write a song now together. Because see, I was in the band, they said, until Bill Ward comes back. So I wasn't like, that's it, Bill's gone, bump, bump, bump. I was like, well, okay, cool. I'll do whatever, you know.
Fill-in guy,
Yeah. So here we go. Okay, we got a couple days off. So we go into John Lennon's mansion in England where they did Imagine, that video.
Yeah.
And he just passed. So it was owned by Ringo. So we go in and they give us keys to the room. I got John Lennon's key to his room.
Wow.
Of all people. Wow. Right. But I watched too many Frankenstein movies when I was a kid. I didn't want to. You know what? Just give me a different room.
Look, I can't sleep in John Lennon's bed. It's just not right.
So we got his room. Wow. That's where we did the first Mob Rules album. Wow. And then we're walking around. We lived there for 2 days. You open a closet and all these platinum records and Beatles stuff falls out. Even Tony, Geezer, and Ronnie are going, oh, shit. Look at this stuff.
Wow.
I mean, it was just an incredible experience. Like,
that's a great life.
That cemented me into the Sabbath because it came out so good. Everybody was so happy, including Warner Brothers. Everybody was happy. So it was like, well, I don't think Bill's going to come back, Plus, Bill never had to play somebody else's parts.
Right.
If he came back and they played Mob Rules, Bill was going to play Mob Rules.
True.
Yeah.
It's not going to sound the same.
Well, let me ask you this, Vinny. When you were doing the Mob Rules, was there part of you that wanted to play like Bill to make it?
Nah. This was free reign, man.
Look, yeah, no.
Dude,
I mean,
this was let's go. No,
at
because
that point, it was your gig.
The riff pretty much dictated where it should go.
Yeah.
Boom, slam in with that and all the changes and stuff.
You kill it on that record, bro. And I love your drum sound on that record too.
Yeah, that was that one wasn't Martin Birch on the heavy metal album, but on the actual Mob Rules album, we re-recorded Mob Rules at the record plant with Martin Birch.
That's right.
Yeah, it's a great sound. Similar to Bill's on Heaven and Hell.
Yes.
More of the low end stuff. But yeah.
Tall Bear says, Vinny's book, read some great stories and eat some great food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be in there. And John Lennon said, and here's the meatball recipe with the homemade gravy. Next page was blank, then it continued,
With
Nobody's
the
done
homemade
that.
gravy.
Yeah. Homemade gravy.
Gravy, that's
gravy.
right. In New York, it's gravy.
Yeah.
It's not,
Make sure you get the
not...
good mozzarella.
Yeah, mozzarella.
Mozzarella.
Or the mozzarella.
No. Out here they go, you want mozzarella? I go, what the fuck is that?
Get out of here.
Or they go, ricotti? You want ricotti?
Manicotti.
It's a ricotta.
Ricotta.
Fuck is that stuff?
It's a shame.
Frank, have you ever lived out here? Have you been to New York? Did you ever come out here at all, or no? For an extended period?
Just to write records, record records.
Just to write records.
Long periods of time, but not. I mean, I probably should have moved there 20 years ago. I would have been a happier person, but.
I'm not sure about that, but okay.
Not right now.
Well, there was sun. There's sun there, so
yeah.
And you stayed with me for a little bit doing.
I did. When Johnny and I, when we played with Helmet together, Johnny, who's the best roommate in the world, because this dude does soup to nuts. He gets up in the morning, cleans, cooks. He does everything. Marry this guy. He's the best.
Chandelier. Look at that thing. It's gleaming.
It's clean.
It's a beautiful chandelier.
I'm clean too, man. I clean it up.
Yeah.
They have mess in the kitchen. It's gone.
Dude, Johnny's a Swifter dude. He's the Swifter man. In the morning,
in the morning,
you hear it hit
Let's go.
it hits the tabletops, the feet. He hits them all over the place. It's great, man. I love it. I miss those days. And then we go out and get loaded. It was a great time. Great time.
That's how this whole thing started tonight, because we saw Johnny Thursday night at the Rainbow, and he started telling stories, Ozzy stories, and I was like, you gotta do the podcast Tuesday. Yeah, that's it.
Yep, it's on.
I'll tell you another Ozzy story, right?
Oh, please.
My brother played with Ozzy, Bark at the Moon tour and all that.
Yeah.
You know? And Carmine used to do the drum solo, the big drum solo. And Ozzy would go, come on in a piece on the drums. So years later, now I'm playing with Ozzy and Sabbath, and we play the gig, and he introduces everybody. So he turns around to me, he goes, and Vinny Appice on the drums. I'm like, oh, shit. So the next day in the hotel, in the morning, we were going to leave. We go, hey, Oz, Carmine says Appice, but I say Appice. He goes, whatever he said. And I said, yeah, he pronounce it different. He's Appice, I'm Appice. Okay, so the next gig, he got really nervous. He wanted to get it right. And I'm like, you're the boss, dude. You call me an asshole on the drums. I'll still be here. So he turns around and goes, and he's looking at me real nervous. He's shaking. Vinny Appice on the drums. Yeah. You know?
He got it.
I was like, you got it confused, you know?
So I got it right. Make some fucking noise.
Yeah, make some noise.
Then came the water.
Yeah, right. Right.
First couple of shows threw water on me. And it was funny, but it sucked because everything was wet. You know, the foot pedal and everything. So after a couple of those, again in the morning in the hotel, Sharon goes, how's everything going, Vinny? I said, it's great. He's throwing water on me. She goes, he did. And that was the end of it. No more water. No problem.
Gotta tell the right source, man. That's it.
Yeah, exactly. Just gotta tell Sharon.
Who wears the pants in the family?
Right, obviously. Cheers, everybody.
Oh my God.
Nice.
Why not? Somebody said, hey, so we get a little fucked up, you know, man. That's a whiskey, you know.
Is that number 13 right there?
No, it's like number 5.
Okay.
It's number 5.
Only 5.
It's the proper 12. My Jesse James Dupree whiskey hasn't showed up yet, so it's not the official whiskey yet. So
the official whiskey yet, yes.
Right now, it's just, you know, the Conor McGregor stuff.
Where's the Anthrax whiskey?
Yeah, the empty bottle's upstairs.
I don't have it.
The empty.
It's probably like the Jesse James stuff. I can't find it out here.
Yeah, right. Break it out.
Yeah, I haven't seen the Anthrax out here.
You haven't seen that? You got to go to anthrax.com.
Well, hold on. I was about to say out here, but I also, it's not like I've been scouring everywhere out here looking for everything in the past year. But
if you go to anthrax.com, you can find everything that you need from Anthrax, including their whiskey. Even though I do not drink whiskey because
I have Gene Simmons whiskey only. I have Gene Simmons whiskey. I have the beer. I have the soda. Anything you want in life, I have. I love Gene. Gene's the best.
Oh, I know. I guess people are saying that there's a show from the Mob Rules tour on the Mob Rules reissue.
Yes, that's like the bonus.
A
one of the
track.
bonus. Yeah, one of the. Well, it's like one of the bonus. Yeah, the bonus tracks.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
the
live
bonus
track.
tracks. I guess I thought somebody said it was a full show.
No.
Vinny,
No, I think there's a couple of tracks that are live on there.
Yeah, there are
bonus tracks.
What do you remember about when the reunion happened for that tour in 2009? How did that start?
Which one? Heaven and Hell? Or
Heaven and Hell. Heaven and Hell. Yeah.
Actually, it was 2006 when they were.
Oh, 2006.
doing this.
Thank you. I'm sorry.
They were going to release a Dio Years record, Rhino, and they thought maybe we can get them to write a couple of songs. So they agreed to write the songs, and they were working with Cozy Powell. Oh no, they were working with Bill at that point. Cozy Powell was another before that. So Bill, they were working with Bill Ward, but it was taking forever. It was taking so long, and finally they just said, "Let's get Vinny." You know, this has happened 3 times, the "let's get Vinny" part. So Wendy calls me up. She goes, "You want to play with the boys again?" She says, "Yeah, absolutely." So we made a deal. And then after she made the deal with me financially and all that, I'm a jokester. So I don't know, this came into my head. I said, "Listen, I got to tell you something, Wendy." She goes, "What?" It goes, "I gained a lot of weight. I'm like 300 pounds. I had to get a special drum stool made to hold me." So what's she going to say? She just made a deal with me, right? Like, no, you know what? Let me forget about it. You know, she just like was quiet, you know, especially the drum stool part really cemented it in. And then, so I flew to England, went to Tony's house, and they were all there. And then they said, "Vinny's here." And you could see them peeking around the corner like, is he really that big? You know? And it broke the ice. It was great to break the ice. But I walked in and, "Yeah, you bastard. Yeah, you lying bastard."
That was smart. That was a good way to do it. Sure.
It was a great way to break the ice.
Yeah.
Break the ice. And then that night I got a fucking drum sound. Half of the song. Next day I did the song. It was taking a month. So I did it we did it in 3 days, you know. So yeah, Bill's an eccentric and very complicated guy. Great person, great drummer. But you know, they had to make a move.
Izzy, the people in the chat room are correct. I did not listen to the Mob Rules extended one yet. The Mob Rules extended one has an entire show from Portland, Oregon, as well as about a half a dozen from London.
Huh.
So it looks like the entire show, April 22nd, 1982, is part of the deluxe edition for Mob Rules.
Interesting. Interesting. Gerald Rosenberg says sauce, not gravy, and I'm from Brooklyn. And he also says
I say sauce.
All right. There you
actually say both gravy and sauce, and yeah.
And he also says, on behalf of the New York Mets fans, fuck you, Yankees.
What about them? Are they still in New York?
The New York Who's?
I have to say that I kid my Met fans as Ed Trunk and all the good people.
Right.
I get it. I understand. It's been a long time, but then again, the Yankees. You know, it's the same thing with them, so it doesn't matter. We're not getting paid for this stuff. I don't care.
Exactly. Trust me, I know we're not getting paid for this stuff. Vinny, you said you had about a half an hour. How much longer do you got for us?
I can stay till 7. Then I got to do something else. Yeah. So it's 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Fantastic.
10
minutes.
minutes.
I was just going to say the same thing. I didn't want to like keep you past keep you overtime here.
Yeah.
So is there anything coming up with Last in Line? And what do you have going on with those guys now?
We finished half the album, and now we're finishing trying to finish the rest of it. So but we work better when we're in a room together, and we haven't been in a room together. We're trying to do one song via the internet, but it's a cover song, so it's easier. But the rest of the stuff is us in the room jamming, you know, just like all the Sabbath and Dio stuff was all in the room jamming. Nobody came in with songs, you know. So
that's the best way. I love that stuff.
Yeah,
I love the jam.
That's why the last album, Sabbath, Devil You Know, it was like written with a drum machine. And we're at Ronnie's house. It was just Tony. I think everybody was there. And I'm sitting on the couch and it's playing with a drum machine. And then they go, wait, let's stop. Let's do a hang there. And now you got to reprogram this drum machine to do a hang. And it took a half an hour. And I'm like, I said, why don't we go in a room together and just sweat like we used to do? So we didn't do that. So that album was done. It was already like kind of done. And I played to it,
Yeah, that's tough. So now I feel like the interviewer, because I love this stuff. I love this stuff. So
no.
When you go in, when you go in like that, Vin, so you have the drum parts. Are they expecting parts like that to be done a la drum machine, like the drum machine parts on it that they wrote?
No, not at that point, because at that point they knew my style. They knew how I played. They knew I would take it over and make it mine. So, but that album, it was kind of weird because. When we made all the other albums, it's like, yeah, let's do a hang, boom. It was instant. The ideas were instant. So it was a little bit more calm, laid back.
Even with Mob Rules, like stuff like that. Did it go song after song after song? Did you take breaks? I mean, when you got a flow, you know what I mean?
Oh, well, recording?
Yeah.
Well, Mob Rules, we would take the song, we would get it pretty quick. All the songs. Yeah, we would get them pretty quick.
You had no ideas going in at all? It was just, you literally just went into the studio and jammed?
No, we would go in a rehearsal place. And, we'd
in the rehearsals,
Yeah, rehearsal, and Tony would start playing something. I usually jam with Tony. I jump in and play different, the riffs he's playing, and then Geezer comes in and we'll all jam. I worked and recorded the cassette tapes. It's like everything that was good, I push record. Then we'd listen. So I had all been in charge of that. And we all put our 2 cents in and pretty much wrote the stuff while we were all there.
And how long was the process in the when you guys were writing the songs in the studio, rehearsal studio, right? How long was that for? A couple of weeks, a month, or?
No, it was probably maybe 2 months.
Okay.
2 months, maybe a little more. And then we had it down. We would record and do proper demo on the cassette for structure, and then go in and go, all right, what do you want to start with? Let's start with the Mob Rules. Okay, play it, and then we'd learn it again and record it.
So Vin, that's another question I have for the Mob Rules. So when you did that, you start with the drums, obviously. Is everybody in your head? Who's singing? Is he singing? Do you have all of it together?
Yeah.
Wow, so it's a band. It's a band jamming.
Yeah, it's the whole band playing while we're recording. Ronnie's singing the scratch. Folks.
So Ronnie's singing the scratch. Awesome. Wow, so cool.
Loud. Same with Holy Diver. Same thing.
Really?
We did the same thing. Yeah, and it was like, and we got it pretty quick because Tony and Geezer are not really. You don't want, like you can go in with a band and do the song 20 times. The producer goes, one more time. They're not going to do that.
Yeah.
Right. And how was it?
You don't want to stress them out and do, 15 takes. It's like 5-6 takes. Nope. Let's kick it,
Speaking of, how was it working with Martin Birch? I always wanted to hear stories about him.
Martin was he was laid back and just a great guy, He had, if I wanted to change something or tune the drum differently, he didn't have a problem with it unless it would create a problem with a ring or something like that. So he was really easy to work with. Martin's great, really cool. So I used to use the Ludwig Chrome snare, not the 400, the other one. And Mob Rules, I'm playing, and that fucker's tuning down as the song's going.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Right. It's like, I don't know if you could hear it on these tracks, but that was the drum of choice. But then it would just loosen down. I think in the break, there was a break. I tuned it up a little bit. Yeah. To keep it lively, but
I love those stories, behind the scenes, like recording stories and what was your mix like as far as did you have a lot of guys back then used PA systems in the studio and recording wise?
No, we didn't do that. We just used headphones, but loud. They were loud, even in here when I do stuff, and it's fucking cranked.
Yeah,
because my drums are so loud. I'm drowning whatever I'm doing out. So now I got to crank that up, And then it's the only way to kick it in the ass, you know.
Vin, when was the last time you went for like a true hearing? I went for a hearing test like 2 months ago. Because I had some shit in my ear I had to get out. So I went for a hearing test. And the lady, the doctor's looking at me, and she says, all right, when you hear a high pitch, she says, raise your hand. What ear? And I'm doing it. All of a sudden, I see her face. Dude, I couldn't hear anything.
What you got to do is just keep your hand raised.
I should have done that because she said,
like this.
Yeah.
I hear that shit.
You just gotta look at it and go, look, I was front row at Motorhead once.
Hey, I had to get my ears cleaned. You know, this was a while ago, probably in the 90s, early 90s. I went, oh man, I'm not looking forward to this, but they were blocked. So I go in and not knowing, wearing a white t-shirt.
Oh yeah.
And then they said, hold this thing on the side of your ear while we shoot this high pressure hydrogen peroxide. No, not the vacuum. They would just shoot it. They would put
the flush,
drops in the flush. And then after 5 minutes, it would loosen it. Then they would shoot the water in and it would come out and went all over my shirt. There was stuff in there from records I did in 1976. The woman goes, "Oh my God!" I said, "Yeah, that was the first album, I think." Right there.
It's the first album. There's some of John Lennon's DNA for when he was talking in my ear.
Sell that shit on eBay.
Yeah, right.
Every once in a while, I have to go do that, but I do have earwax remover, and because sometimes I'll wake up from sleeping on the ear from the warmth, the wax clogs you up, and then it's like I got to do this.
Yeah.
But if you remove it, you can't play loud again for a while because it's devastating.
That was a natural earplug, right? It's a natural earplug. It's true.
What?
You know what Tony used to do to his roadie, right? This guy Fergie, he would tell Fergie that one of the speakers was out in one of the 4x4 cabinets, and on a serious face, and then he'd go down to the tech and put his ear near the speaker, and Tony would hit a chord. Oh my God, dude!
That'll kill your hearing.
Oh man!
Oh my God!
He used to do this stuff. I go,
Keith Moon, right? Didn't he blow out Pete Townshend's hearing from the M80s in the bass drums or something? Right?
Yeah,
really?
yeah. That's that.
Yeah.
I've heard that story. That story. Vinny, why don't you tell us really quick? You do a show every Friday, every Tuesday.
Every Tuesday, 4 p.m. I did one today, and it's on my Facebook. And it's like a drum show. I tell stories like these. I play, I teach, play to some music. It's a lot of fun. That's pretty cool. Yeah. So I love doing it. And plus, it's kept me in shape the entire year.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And what's weird is
every Tuesday on Facebook.
Every Tuesday, 4 p.m. specific time on Facebook, my Facebook. But a year ago on the 15th was my last show in Ohio. You know, the 14th, it almost wasn't, where they almost closed it, but then we played. This was with the Sabbath thing I do with the different bands around the world. And next day it was closed. But right before that, Carmine and I did some shows in around the East Coast. And then one show was in Washington. And we got a tour of the Capitol. Like,
wow.
I mean, what timing is that?
Wow.
My girlfriend's never been to New York. So this was the regular New York, the fun, everything was cool.
Yeah.
We went everywhere, Little Italy, here, the restaurants, clubs. We got to see all that. Then we go to Washington. They give us a private tour of the Capitol.
Wow.
And what was
were you wearing the Vikings horns or and a loincloth, or what were you wearing there?
A toga. So and now it's like, I look at the news. I go, well, they'll never ever have people in there again. What was the timing on that?
Yeah, right.
I never been there, and I'm from the East Coast, and we got to go through. Actually, Nancy Pelosi walked right by me when they were trying to impeach Trump. The whole crew would walk by. I was taking pictures, and they go, "Vinny, watch out!" And this guards coming by. I'm like right in the middle of them. Move out of the way! They pull me away, and they marching toward the thing to go to the chamber to go impeach Trump.
Wow.
So it's like now I look at the news. I go, "Fuck, we were lucky, man. We got to do a tour right before all this nonsense."
Yeah.
You know?
Wow.
And
Just got it
in
in
New York, you know.
Do you have a favorite place in Little Italy? Do you have a favorite?
No, I tried them all. Different ones. I don't know. We even remember the names. Then we go to the cannoli place, the best cannoli in the world. I forgot what that was called. Umberto's or no?
Umberto's is the restaurant. That's my favorite restaurant, Umberto's.
Yeah. Umberto, yeah. And then there was one around the corner, the cannoli place, Cannoli King, or.
I know. I don't remember the name of it because I know where everything is from walking.
Yeah, that's where we were walking.
That's what you do there. There's only a block and a half left of Little Italy anyway, so it doesn't matter.
No, that's terrible.
It all shrunk, so.
Yeah.
Now it's really little.
Now it's
really little.
Hey, at least there is a Little Italy there. There's not one in fucking Los Angeles, so.
No.
Go fucking figure.
There is at my house.
Of course.
We're coming over.
I can't wait to come down and try those fucking meatballs.
Vinny Appice, man.
Dude, thank you so much.
Thank you.
It was an honor. It was a true fucking honor.
Thank you, guys.
Great seeing you, Vin.
Nice to meet you. Nice to see you, John and Frank. You guys.
Good, Vinny. I'll see you soon. Stay healthy.
All right. I'll see you on the road somewhere.
All right.
See you, John. Bye-bye.
You're good. Start that bomb.
First half of the show brought to you by Beater Amplification. That's 2 E's, beateramplification.com. Hit them up on Facebook as well. 100 watts of testicular fortitude, hand-wired, hand-belt, old school fucking Metallica tone, old school Kiss, AC/DC tone,
full screen,
clean ass fucking
like
undertone. Oh my God. Hit them up. Beater Amplification. They are so fucking amazing. And our good friends over at Mackie. That's Mackie. I got to go to the Carson in there for some fucking IE. You want to get into fucking podcasting, home recording? Hit up Mackie. Check out there. I think I need another shot. That's what it is.
That's what I'm thinking.
I think you do.
Check out their studio bundles. Affordable way to get into that stuff. Very, very, very easy. I'm using the big cock. Oh, I'm sorry, the big knob. Big knob Studio +1. And their condenser mic. It's fucking great. Hit them up. That is Mackie, Mackie. Yes, we got 2 minutes and 2 seconds. So we'll be right back and we'll dive into these records. We got John Tempesta, Frank Bello, and Paul Gargano. It is another fucking
stand up
podcast.
Vinny Tortorich here. Hey man, if you're a fan of Izzy, you might be a fan of me too. I'm the guy that gets people to lose a lot of weight. I have something free for you guys. This is no clickbait. Just go to VinnyTortorich.com and there's a big banner. It's a free PDF, how to lose weight. It's an intro guide to NSNG at VinnyTortorich.com. Go check it out exclusively for anyone who listens to Izzy Presley. Thank you.
RockstarLeatherworks.com is your home for badass rock and roll gear. Featuring 100% handmade leather bands, watches, cuffs, bracelets, and more, Rockstar Leatherworks has something for everybody. Whether you are going to the show or you are in it, you can find something to fit your needs. Choose from a variety of designs or create your own masterpiece. Their bands and watches are second to none. They also ship internationally. Who needs a stage to be a rock star? Check out RockstarLeatherworks.com.
Hey ladies, Sass Pants Designs will take that band shirt that everyone has and make it your own in a flattering, sassy, and simple way. There are one-of-a-kind tank tops, halter tops, lace-up tees, and tube-top dresses already in stock. Check out the online store at sasspantsrocks.com and like Sass Pants Designs on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for special offers and custom orders. Use the code IZZY25 for 25% off of your entire order at sasspantsrocks.com. That's sasspantsrocks.com. Let Sass Pants make you the envy of the party.
Rockwood Saloon Authentic Apparel takes rock and roll fashion to a new level. With their tees and tanks for men and women. They also make custom shirts, jackets, vests, pants, hoodies, beanies, and more. The Rockwood Graphics Department can design anything from your logo, t-shirt design, promo posters, band swag, and printed at great prices. From tour shirts and custom stage gear to killer threads for the street to the stage, Rockwood Saloon has it all. Rockwood Saloon, authentic rock and roll apparel for stage and street. World tour tested for quality, comfort, style, and durability. Check them out at www.rockwoodsaloon.com. That's rockwoodsaloon.com.
A reading from the book of Gene. verse Animalize, chapter Burn Bitch Burn. Oh babe, I want to put my log in your fireplace. Ooh, maybe, baby, you want to get played. Praise be to Gene.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
My God.
I've listened to it about 30 times today. God damn it.
It's the best. You gotta love that stuff, man. You do. You gotta love
And there's no end. They're endless with the 80s kids.
I know. And a big shout out to Mike Dawson from the Adam Carolla show for doing those reads, because they are.
That's just great stuff, man.
Second half of the show brought to you by A&P Laser. Hit up aplaser.com. Need anything laser engraved, specially, and personally, hit up AP Laser. And a shout out to Oz, who had a stroke, minor. He's doing much better, and he's good. But hit up aplaser.com. And our good friend John Palumbo. Oh, we love us some John Palumbo. John Palumbo, if you have a band, you have a business, you need a website, you need a logo, hit up our good friend John Palumbo.
There you go.
John Palumbo Design.com. All right. So shout out to quick shout out to Mr. Laurie Nickel, the Killer Koala, checking in from Australia. He's got a couple kidney stones he's dealing with right now, but he's still here drinking with us because he is
from the medical portion of the evening.
Exactly. We got a stroke. We got kidney stones. What the fuck more do you want? So,
oh my God.
So now we are going to get into Heaven and Hell versus Blizzard of Oz, and we'll talk about the records for a little bit before we get into the actual throwdown. And Mr. John Tempesta, in your Hanson brother look right now, so fucking gold.
He's the golden boy. You are golden boy.
Something, man.
I'm with you. I'm with you listening. I'm grabbing something.
You have a great Ozzy story.
I do.
Please enlighten us
on this. I told Paul about it last week, and Frankie remembers this because we were in high school at the time. Remember, like, we actually left school earlier that day. Skipped a couple classes with Walt and Brian, and we went down to the Palladium. It was I believe it was their second show of the tour. It was Motorhead opening up for Ozzy, the Blizzard of Oz in 1981. Right? Am I right?
Yeah.
High school. Yeah. So we left early, and you could actually meet the band behind, when you go around the corner, the backstage door. And I remember like Ozzy, Randy Rhoads come out of the limo, and we all ran up and said hi to him, shook his hand, and and they went in the sound check. Then Motorhead came afterwards, and meeting Filthy and Lemmy, and we were very into Motorhead, remember in high school and stuff, and the Bomber record. And this was the Ace of Spades tour, was the first time, and wow, man, it's fucking amazing. And they did 2 shows that evening, and we snuck up. We had shitty seats, but we didn't give a fuck. We just ran. We snuck all the way up to the front. From Motorhead was in first row, and we're like banging on Lemmy's boots, and it was unbelievable. Then Ozzy, we got thrown out to the back, and then Ozzy came on, and we snuck up to about 8th, 10th row, and I was right in front of Randy Rhoads. It was freaking amazing. Yeah. Yeah, and then after that, they did another show. Like, we have to go to the second show. But I would never get away with this shit. If my parents were on vacation in Hawaii, so there's no way I would be able to stay out and all that. And we happened to it was summertime in New York City, and they did another show. We were in the balcony this time, and I remember the second show they played No Bone Movies, which I did in the first one. And then afterwards, we're hanging out, and a friend of ours told us where Ozzy was staying at the Plaza Hotel. And we're like, fuck, we should just go there, man. So on the way there, we walk in summertime, beautiful evening. We're all just, freaking out about this show. And then we stopped over, and Max's Kansas City was still open, and we had a drink there. We snuck in for a drink. And then we just, proceeded to walk all the way from 14th Street to 59th Street, right? The Plaza Hotel.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Damn. So we didn't care. We were, we were freaking out. And then there was a tour bus out front, and we knocked on the bus. Hey, is Ozzy here? We're kids. We didn't know any better. It's like, no, there's nobody here. So, and we went to the park. We're hanging out. And all of a sudden, it was still dark out. This is like almost not even 7 in the morning. We see out of the freaking woods, I see Ozzy and Sharon walking towards us, and I'm freaking out. My friend, like, what's the matter? Like, and Ozzy's he's whacked out of his head. Hi guys, how you doing? Right? Yeah, all right. Yeah. Sharon's like, hey guys. He goes to the tour bus, and the bus driver probably said, these guys are cool and blah blah blah. He goes to the hotel. 10 minutes later, he comes out and he whistles. And we're like looking, like there's nobody out. We're the only ones in the park. I'm looking around. Is he whistling towards us? Yeah, at us and everything. We get up and I start running. My friend's like, "Cool the fuck out, man! Slow down." We go. We see Ozzy and Sharon and goes, "Would you guys like to have breakfast with us?" And we're like, no, thank you. Thanks though, and like, no, come on. So we go to it's a Plaza Hotel on a Sunday morning at 7 a.m. and Ozzy. There's a table, big freaking round table. There's nobody there. And the waiter comes over and Ozzy goes, bring me a bottle of your best champagne. He goes, sorry, sir, we can't serve alcohol. It's Sunday. He's like, fucking bullocks. He starts screaming at the guy.
It's a fucking Ozzy Osbourne, it's a fucking Black Sabbath.
Bring me some beer or whatever. Like, no, we can't serve any alcohol at all. I was like, yes. He goes, I'm going to go
drink to that.
To a bump and I'll bring you guys want to hit a new record and blah, blah, blah. And so, yeah, we have breakfast with Sharon. He's up in his room doing whatever. And we can't even eat. We're like, nervous. But she goes, oh, it's cool, guys. So he comes down with a cassette tape. Let's go to the bus and go to that tour bus. And I sit next to him, like right across from me, the old Florida coaches, right, Frankie?
Yeah.
The coffee table is, just 2 people. So I'm sitting across, and he puts on Diary of a Madman before he came. Over the mountain. We're like, we just seen 2 shows of Blizzard of Oz, and we're like freaking out. We're not saying anything. We're drinking a beer, like, oh, then Ozzy just starts smoking and like, looking at us. What are you guys thinking? All of a sudden, he starts moving his legs around under the table. I'm like this, He was out of his core, man. But we listened to the whole record, and it was one of the best experiences of my life. And afterwards, we're walking across, like we're leaving, like nobody's gonna believe us. So he gave us some passes signed, and I went to Lehman the next day and showed the passes. So that was it.
And now whenever you're on tour, you always take kids to breakfast every morning.
Every morning, Denny's.
Every morning.
That's it. You get the moons over Miami. Don't order anything more than that.
That's a great move.
So before every song that started on that Blizzard tape, did he say, we're going to do a number for you now? Because if you listen to him live before every fucking song, so we're going to do a number for you now.
On that tour, yeah. It was like I said, the first tour from the second show, or they were just finding their way. But it was a great band between Randy Rhoads and Tommy Aldridge.
It's incredible.
Man. Yeah. And so,
Frankie, when's the first time you saw him?
God, Ozzy. God, I think right after Randy died.
Wow.
Okay.
When Brad Gillis played. John, were you on that show?
Oh, were you talking about the Garden with UFO opening up?
I think it was that show. That's the first time I actually saw.
That was
what?
That was Bernie Torme on that one.
No, I saw Brad. It was definitely Brad.
That was a little bit after. He only lasted, I think, a couple weeks.
Bernie wasn't there for a long time, right? And Brad took over. That's the first time I actually saw it. And I missed Randy. Believe me, I wish I would have seen him. I never saw him.
Oh man.
Yeah, that was just tragic. And just listening to this stuff again, not even to get into this, but listening to the songs again, John, it brings us right, for those of the people that are listening that don't know, Johnny and I grew up together. We went to high school together. We cut out together. We jammed in jazz class a lot and got in trouble playing heavy metal songs during jazz class.
We did.
Nice.
Johnny and I would jam. What we do, and I'll divert this for a second.
Please
what
do.
we do, we were, Johnny, how old were we then? God, 16, 17, 16?
Yep, around 16.
We jam stuff like Sabbath, when, stuff that we're talking about tonight. Ozzy, we jam. Johnny and I would show up to jazz class because the teacher at the time didn't want to hear loud music. It was a jazz class. So Johnny and I will get there early. And my friend here has a habit of breaking cymbals. He hits a little hard. I don't know if you've ever seen Johnny play. He has a habit of breaking cymbals. Way back then, he was still doing it. So she was very, very scared about Johnny going on. And I I was not allowed to play on the electric bass. Remember, I had to play the stand-up bass.
Wow.
They would never let me on the electric bass because I would blow up, I would blow up the amp. It was a small little 15-inch speaker. So long story short, Johnny and I, we got smart. And this was the time that the metal, all these great records are coming out. So we wanted to jam them. It was a bunch of metalheads there, right? All in the classes and stuff. So we get there 20 minutes, a half an hour early and start jamming like the Ozzy stuff, the Sabbath stuff. And all of a sudden you see a little crowd of kids hanging around like in a circle, headbanging. And our teacher would come, rest of her soul, I think she's passed now. She would come because it's so loud, and this is not the jazz class. This is Frank and Johnny jamming. And she'd come in, grab the sticks from Johnny, and she'd unplug the bass, and she'd just point out right to the principal's office. And this is a true story. This happened, Johnny. How many times did that happen to us?
Until I went off on her in front of the whole class.
That was rough. That was.
I feel bad now, man. I just I just ripped her one in front of the whole class. So.
They went at it pretty good, and we were still sent to the office, the Mr. Leader's office.
But he was cool though. We got away with everything as well.
Yeah, we got away with everything. We did. We used to go to the principal's office, and he'd just look at us. We'd be sitting there, the typical, the guys there just in trouble as usual. He's just like, oh.
But you always have a pick her ear or pinch her arm.
Dude, he'd have a. He had like a fun punch. You know what a fun punch is? That it's not meant to hurt you, but you get the message. He'd get the rib underneath the fucking rib all the time, Mr. Leader. It's like, I loved him. I love that guy. He got us out of so much trouble, right, John?
Oh, any class I didn't like, I'm like, that teacher sucks. I'm like, why? And he grabbed me and like, and he changed my class.
He got us out of a lot of trouble. I like that dude, man. God, I don't know if he's still alive. I hope he is.
Man, I was just gonna ask, like, how many of those songs were Kiss and Cheap Trick songs?
A lot of them were Sabbath. A lot of them were Ozzy, stuff like that, right, Johnny?
That was early Maiden, Judas.
Maiden.
Yeah.
That kind of the classics. Just fun.
Yeah, the classics.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So
the only thing that would make that story better is if it was a nun and she was like smacking you with rulers, and it was like that would be the only thing that would make the story any better.
Imagine.
We had a ball in school, man. Yeah, we had a ball.
And then you guys have to put the band back together. Yeah.
Did you guys jam outside of high school or just in class?
I've jammed with Johnny a million times. I was in a band with him.
Yeah, in high school as well.
No.
Yeah, just in the class, but then after school I would go and jam with Charlie at the house where you lived. You guys. And I'd get on Charlie's big kit and break out his like checkerboard, Cheap Trick guitar and stuff, and jam on Maiden, Motorhead songs. So that's how that helped happen back then.
And Johnny, I used to come to the rehearsals, a couple of rehearsals when you had the band.
Jackals.
Jackal. Johnny was in a great band called Jackal back in the day. It was a Bronx based, right?
Yeah, well, Walter, Brian, and Tony Harnell from TNT was his singer. Yeah.
It was a great band, man. It was a great band. I used to watch those guys. We used to go to see the Rising. Remember, Johnny? We used to go to the Rising Sun.
Yeah, those are some fun times, man.
Some good times, man.
So wait, you just say Walter and Brian?
Yeah, Walter and Brian. Walter Goss.
Because all I keep thinking of every time this is the second time you said Walter and Brian, and I just keep thinking of Rika Thursday night going Walter O'Brien, and you're like, no, Walter and Brian.
Yeah, man, that was it. Those are some
Walter O'Brien. No, you're like, no, this is before Walter
and Brian. That's it. But
that's what's great about these records that we talked about. Even though the Vinny stories were just awesome. My God, that's why I get fanboy stuff. I want to know the inside stuff of how you recorded, what do you have in your ears. I love all that stuff because I like to. I said, what does Geezer have in his? What is he playing to? Is he playing to just drums? All that stuff. I love knowing all that stuff. I think it's fun.
Oh,
so
absolutely.
That's what's really been cool about this. And I mean, we've approached these when Izzy and I are like trying to come up, and he did a lot of these before I was involved, but trying to come up with like albums, it's really fun because you pick two albums you love, and it's not about like saying one album isn't as good as the other. It's about taking two albums you love so much as a fan and just pitting them against each other. It's like the stuff you'd do if you're drinking and hanging out in your basement or something. And that's what it's about. And it's when you get I mean, we went a little bit off our format today, but when you have Vinny here, of course you're going to do that.
That was a great. It was great because I always wanted to pick his head. He's a great dude. You could always talk to him, but I never really picked his head like that on the good stuff. That's the inside good stuff I always wanted to know.
Absolutely.
So when you go to, and I'm looking at the songs on these two records, and Paul, you just said it. You can't really choose. For me, I can't choose which one's better. I love both of these records. Independently, because they were almost like a training, a bass-wise. Bob Daisley, Geezer Butler. Geezer is one of my all-time favorites. So you got Bob Daisley doing magic on the other side. So for me as a bass player, God, this was it was a ride. It was a complete ride, and plus you also have great written songs. These fucking songs are just great. It's really hard to pull one off and say, no, this is not up to par, and maybe walk away. Maybe it's not, there's just so many that you just want to hear over and over. And these, like when I heard these records, you have to learn them, right, John? He's the same as you. You have to learn them because this is what we jammed on.
Yeah, man.
When people ask, this, you wanted to know this stuff too, because it was in everybody's catalog, right?
Yeah. That was a cool thing back then, like when we played clubs, because you play like mostly covers and maybe a few originals you throw in there. And, and the cool thing was to get on to the newest song that came out before it came out, like get a bootleg, like it was a Pantang or something like that nobody knew of, and they thought it was your song. And they're like, we were cool, and they don't even fucking know. So it was great.
Yeah, that's always the trick. Songs that everybody not everybody knows, that nobody who knows who did. And then you sell it as your own.
Yeah. Like, wow, that song's cool,
and you announce the band. Yeah, that was mine. Yeah, but did you like that one? You just go right into it. Yeah, that was ours. It's okay.
It's like doing like a Joe Jackson song that nobody fucking knows, which you guys did. You know.
Well, got the time. See, I was a fan of that anyway because the bass solo. Because obviously, I didn't want to do the bass solo with Anthrax, but these guys preferred me that I did that. So, because I have such respect for what was done. But yeah, I mean that kind of stuff, man. I grew up on all of this stuff. Like learning these songs was a pleasure because you learn different ways to play. Bob Daisley has a completely different style than Geezer Butler for me, right? And it made sense to learn all of it because there were two different places they were coming from. And then the songwriting alone, my God, one after the other, boom, boom, boom. It's just, I remember playing to these.
Now, as far as Bob Daisley, I think, did they both write lyrics? I mean, Ozzy didn't write the lyrics, but did Bob
No, he did not.
Yeah, I know that. But did Bob write all the lyrics for Blizzard of Oz entirely?
From what I read, that's what I read. I don't know if that's true or not, but I also read that.
Geezer did.
Well, Geezer certainly, yeah. But I read that Bob did a lot of writing on that too. But but I could listen to these records, and you know what? I listened to them both today, and they're still fresh. And Johnny, it brings you right back to that time, dude. You know what I mean?
Man,
it really does.
I remember Walter bought that. We went down, and it came out earlier than at Bleecker Bob's. It was not bootleg, but it was an English import at the time.
Yeah, so they got it first.
Oh, wow. So we heard it first. When we put that needle on and heard, I don't know, like what the hell is this? And that guitar,
oh my God,
freaking blew our minds, and especially the album cover freaked us out.
Oh yeah, it's just right on. It's what you want at that age, at that time. It's everything you want, man. It's like. And and plus, it's another one of the great records. When you put the actual record on, it matched the cover, right? You know what I mean? It just
absolutely. And
it lined up.
Such fans of Ozzy, like, hey, he's back, and you cheer for him, man, because he went through a real bad, time in his life, and coming back with this record is freaking amazing. So.
And then Randy, think about that, right? I mean, this beautiful piece of work. I mean, it's just a piece of art. Randy was a piece of art that we all shared. That we were lucky enough to have to share. I mean, short life, unfortunately, but the stuff he's left for us. For me, just listening to this stuff today, my God, it's just beautiful. That's why we love music. It's why we love music, for stuff like this to go on a record, so we can have it forever, to make us feel better about other shit that's going on. That's so it kind of takes you away, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And look, when I was listening to Heaven and Hell today, I had the CD when I was a kid, and I think this is the first time I remember listening to it all the way through. And it's so fucking good all the way through. But I have this thing in my head about Blizzard of Oz because I think I had a Devil's three-way to Blizzard of Oz once, and that is 2 guys, 1 girl. So I think that might ruin it for me.
Yeah, it might ruin it for me.
But did I just say that out loud? I don't know.
She's got real quiet in here.
Well, I guess I'm the only one drinking. I better have another shot. I mean, what the fuck?
It was also just. It was such a 100. I'm gonna switch directions for you.
Oh, please.
Izzy. It's also just. It's like 180 degrees difference from what Ozzy was with in Sabbath. I mean, it really was. I mean, it's just this album came out and it wasn't Sabbath again. And I think that was another thing that just made it so. And I discovered this stuff later. I wasn't at the same time. But man,
I'll never forget. I remember exactly where we were, right by Williamsbridge Road, right by Hawaii Sea, frankly.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I remember talking about the album just came out, that Heaven and Hell, and we're all freaking Sabbath fans, and how do you do Black Sabbath with Ozzy? But then again, I love Dio from Rainbow and all that. It's like
right.
And then when we heard that record, we're like, oh man.
Well, let me ask you this: what did you guys expect it to sound like?
Well, we were just, growing up on Sabbath, and the last Sabbath record at the time was Never Say Die, and we seen that tour and everything. They were definitely, it was different from the previous stuff, but I still like that record. But as far as Heaven and Hell, we didn't know. We really didn't know what to expect at the time. We knew Dio was amazing, and obviously Sabbath, and they still had the band together. But when you put, you listen to that record and the production of it with Martin Birch, man, it's just amazing.
And plus, let's remember, like Dio, I mean, his voice is like a riff. It's a God gift.
Yeah, right.
It's as heavy as any guitar. It's identifiable, and it just fits, and it gets you right here. It always has, always will. No matter when you know it's Ronnie, and it was the perfect match. It really was the perfect match for everything going on. So, for that, man, that all came together. It's like, okay, that's it. I'm good. I'm good with that. Yeah. So the Ozzy thing, man, when I heard that, it was Randy, really, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't it Randy? We heard that.
Incredible.
This new thing, on guitar, this new sound, right? It was so incredible. And then you had great songs. Then we have great songs too.
Yeah.
So
songs.
I think it was a great time for music, metal in general, for everybody. I couldn't wait to learn those songs. I mean, it's fun. Even I can remember all the bass lines still to this day because they were so tasty and memorable. Yeah. So it's just fun stuff, man.
Well, hold on, Paul, really quick. So I'm younger than you guys. And I remember, I want to say I was introduced to Sabbath through Ozzy on the tribute record, but I also remember watching Radio 1990 and seeing the Paranoid live video with the weird tapestry gimmick going on in the back. So, I mean, that's when I was exposed to Sabbath, but I wasn't exposed to Ronnie Sabbath until later on in life when I was seeing cover bands out at bars after I turned 21. And then, I mean, it's like, holy shit, this is fucking unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
But it's different from the Sabbath that I know. It's different. We're going to do a number for you now. This is one called Iron Man. It's like, it sounds nothing like that.
Right.
It's so completely different.
It is.
It was a whole new life. It really was a whole new life. And I thought it was great for music in general because it was the next step, of whatever metal was going to be. And rock, whatever you want to call it. I just thought it was great. We had another guitar guide on the premises, which was awesome, right? Mm-hmm. Coming up, just listen to every beautiful thing that guy came out with. I mean, Bob Daisley playing great bass. It's just
Yeah, but those not forget. I mean, Randy was incredible, but you can't forget about like Bob Daisley and Lee Kerslake, man. They
You can't.
in the songwriting as well. So
Absolutely. That's why people
get enough credit for what they did, and which fucking sucks, man. And still bums me out. But but they are on the record, and hope because a lot of people they actually played those parts. They were on the record. They thought it was Rudy Sarzo or Diary of a Madman, especially that record. With them on the cover on the their photo on the insert. So
Paul, whatever you're gonna say, just hold on 1 second. Gerald Rosenberg says reboot of the movie Threesome starring Laura Flynn Boyle, Stephen Baldwin, and Izzy. Thank you very much.
That won the Oscar.
Paul, what were you gonna get into when I so rudely cut you off?
I don't know.
Should we
so rudely cut me off? No, I'll get to it later. I'll think of it later. I was in the moment.
Should we do the track versus track?
Let's dive into the track by track.
And just so everybody listening knows, D has been dropped off because it's a little instrumental.
49 seconds,
it's 49 seconds, and that's what makes the albums match up track by track. So, here we go.
All right. So our first track. Oh, I remember what I was going to say now. I was going to say this is actually a case. Remember a couple weeks ago when Dave Ellison kept picking Megadeth songs because he said he couldn't play the Metallica songs or he didn't know how to play the Metallica songs? We now actually have a situation where everybody can play all the songs.
Well, except for me.
And not for me. Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
I mean, I can learn them
more than I can.
I can learn them, not goodly, but I can learn them.
Not goodly. So first track, I Don't Know versus Neon Nights.
Oof.
Frankie, go for it.
Okay. Well, I have to go, and this is hard. Neon Nights. For me, I have to. And here's why. Starting the record, boom, boom. This is exactly what I wanted to hear from this record starting off like this. It's exactly like Ozzy. I didn't know what was going to happen. I don't know. Get it? No pun intended.
I don't know.
So, but I do love it. But look, I have to understand how many great parts. It came out driving. The bass is incredible in this. The whole, it was as soon as you heard Ronnie's voice, it was like, fuck yeah, everything worked for me, man. And I get it. You go on the other side and you hear Randy. It's incredible, all that stuff. But you're asking me what I first. Yep. It just hits home for me. It just hits home. Neon Nights.
And just for the record, we do have an Eddie Trunk tiebreaker.
If we end up tied,
it does end up tied.
All right,
Johnny. What do you got?
I agree with Frankie. Neon Nights, man. That when I first heard it, just right out of the gate, it just they come out and just hits you. I mean, both great songs, but
absolutely
because it just right at. You just hear that riff and that's it, man. And
it's like a fucking locomotive, man, right?
Yep. Vocals and just man, and the production too, on top of it. Yeah.
The only reason I have this redneck mustache right now is so I can stroke it like Hulk Hogan when he's thinking. Let me tell you something, brother. The beginning of Ozzy Osbourne, I don't know. And that my impression just totally dropped off right there. So I'm going to lose it. Neon Nights is so fucking amazing, but I Don't Know is so fucking good. Dude, it's so fucking good that I have to go into fucking Sebastian fucking talking about it. If it's nothing else, it's gotta be fucking Ozzy Osbourne. I don't know. Whew. Sorry, got that.
So what are you picking, Hulk? Hulkster?
Let's get a little Ozzy Osbourne. I don't know, man.
I'm actually. I agree with everything everybody said except for Izzy because I have no idea what he just said. But I agree with everything Frank and Johnny said, and I don't know this week was a shock to me the way I picked, but I'm picking I Don't Know on this one. I love Neon Nights, but I Don't Know to me is just that's quintessential Ozzy.
It's so
and
good.
I'm just gonna say I expected this to be a bloodbath. And when I went back and listened to Blizzard of Oz, I was like, this is not going to be a bloodbath for me at all. This is going to be. So obviously, I thought it was going to go in the other direction. But yeah, I'm with Oz also. So, all right, second, Crazy Train versus Children of the Sea.
So okay, Lori just commented to see Izzy just jinked Blizzard.
Blizzard. That's a hard one too.
I'm gonna look. Okay, I'll go first.
Go ahead, go.
Yeah,
dude. Crazy Train. I don't care how sick of it you might be. I don't care if you walk into a fucking Guitar Center, if you're allowed to on a Saturday afternoon and hear it played wrongly and out of tune. That riff is so fucking iconic. That song is so fucking iconic. It's played at every goddamn hockey game, every goddamn football game. Much like the Anthrax, Frank, when I texted you when I used to be covering the Wild. So the Anthrax is being played in the XL Center right now. Dude, it's Crazy Train. It's fucking Crazy Train.
I'm going to jump in with you on this one too, because coming into this, I was like, Crazy Train was that song when I was a kid that was my favorite song. And then as I got older and older, I'm like, it's just overplayed. Yeah. And I was like, Children of the Sea, definitely. And honestly, I planned on saying Children of the Sea. This afternoon, I had Blizzard of Oz on, Crazy Train came on, and I'm like, no fucking way, it's got to be Crazy Train. It's just makes you feel like you're a kid again every time you hear it.
I agree as well. And that's one of the songs I played, when we were in that band as a kid. And it's got a great groove to it, especially the drums, it's got like a hi-hat disco kind of thing. And no one really played that kind of stuff back then. And the bass line is just incredible, and the vocals. And it's one of those songs that, you heard it so many times, but it became an anthem, and you hear it in fucking football games and stuff. I mean, go.
Except for Vinny, because he doesn't watch football. He doesn't hear it during football games.
That guy. Yeah.
So let's give a little respect to Children of the Sea, just because.
Oh, it's fucking amazing.
First off, let's remember the vocal performance to begin with, right? Yeah. That's right there. That's my God, right? As in everything else he does, or he did, rest his soul. Just a well put together song. But I have to go to Crazy Train for the specific riff and the lead. The lead.
Oh, man.
It's all about the lead.
God. Yeah, it is.
I get it, the iconic riff.
On the railroad tracks, dude. Come on.
Dude, it's just incredible. It's an incredible riff, but then the lead it's mind-boggling.
Takes it over the top.
So I agree with you guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
We got our first sweep of the night. I don't think it's going to be our last sweep of the night, though. I think there's going to be a couple others coming. Third one. Goodbye to Romance versus Lady Evil.
Who wants to start this one, Paul?
I'll start this one. I just have to go with Goodbye to Romance. And again, I mean, every single song, I can make the same Ronnie James Dio argument, because every single song, he sounds amazing. And I love the tracks, but just Goodbye to Romance to me is just, man, it just bleeds soul. It just sounds so beautiful. There's no way. I think other than one song on this record, and I take that back. Goodbye to Romance would probably beat every song on Heaven Held for me. So I got to go with Goodbye to Romance.
Johnny Hansen.
Yeah, I'd have to go. I mean, Lady Evil with that bass line and everything, but oh man, when I first heard Goodbye to Romance, and it was just so beautiful, this guitar playing and Ozzy's vocals, so like, it's sincere. It just like makes you want to cry, man. It's a beautiful, well-written song. Both songs are great, but I'm gonna have to go with Goodbye to Romance again, especially for Randy on that one.
Yeah. For me, of course, the bass line, Lady Evil, who hasn't jammed that's great. But as far as song, you have to go to Goodbye Romance. It's just one of those songs. The melody on top of the guitar playing, it all blends so nicely together for me. And it just you want to listen to that song again when it's done. So it's pretty important as Lady Evil, but I have to give it to Goodbye to Romance.
I'm changing my background right now in honor of Johnny, and because this is a fight. This is a fight. Anybody listening? I just changed my background to the Hanson brothers. And,
classic movie right there.
But I'm just looking at this and going, "Holy shit! Somebody put the fucking Columbus Blue Jackets sweaters on them. This is bullshit." Anyways, I'll change it later. Dude, Goodbye to Romance, and dude, the Sabbath tune is so good, but Goodbye to Romance, that is completely fucking Beatles, and that was Ozzy's 10 middle fingers to Black Sabbath for firing him, and it's so fucking amazing. I have to go with fucking Ozzy.
How do you fucking feel?
Another sweep.
Tall
another
Bear
sweep.
says,
Yes, another sweep.
Tall Bear says, putting on the foil, coach.
So track number 4, Suicide Solution versus Heaven and Hell.
Oh fuck.
Who wants
This
to take
is not
it?
easy.
Oh.
That's a tough one, man. Really. That's.
I'll say it. I'll start. Hands down, for me, Heaven and Hell. Hands down. Suicide Solution, look, it's a good song, but it's not Heaven and Hell. It's not, there's no, the groove of Heaven and Hell, the vocal line, the intensity of when it's just the bass and the drums together and a vocal. Oh my God. I mean, Anthrax loved this song so much, we did it on the Big Four. Right?
God
So,
damn.
for me, if you're looking at both songs, yes, both great songs, but there's a notch that Heaven and Hell belongs to. It just belongs up here forever. For me, it's one of those forever songs. This is the quintessential.
It is. It's like a fucking anthem. And we jammed this song on the ship, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
And
we jam it everywhere.
But they fucking, I mean, but what I love about the song is, just how it starts off, and it just goes, and you're saying like that, it just translates, it just goes through it, and like you're way in, and the vocal line, but my favorite part of this song is the pickup at the end.
The jam.
The bass line.
And it just stops, and it just starts, and all of a sudden you're into a different song, right? And it's a jam. It's a jam.
Dude, it's almost like that song is a slower version of fucking Megadeth Peace Cells, because you got that whole groove, and all of a sudden now it gets fast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can see that.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I'm right there with you. I mean, I kind of tipped my hat on the last one when I said Heaven and Hell would be Goodbye to Romance, but this to me is the song for me. I mean, I love this. Heaven and Hell and Mob Rules are probably my two favorite Sabbath songs of all time. So I'm just a huge mark for Ronnie, and this song is it. So that's a Black Sabbath one for me.
Yeah, look, it's so hard for me because we've got "Sing Me the Song, You're a Singer," which I am not. But that fucking dude, Suicide Solution. Oh my God, I'm sorry. I gotta be that guy. There's gotta be one vote for Suicide Solution. That might be my favorite fucking Ozzy Osbourne. It might be my favorite fucking Ozzy Osbourne song,
Wow.
I have to go Suicide. I have to go Suicide.
Number 5, Mr. Crowley versus Wishing Well.
Well, the guitar player, the guitar lead says it all. Fucking Mr. Crowley.
Yeah.
Hands down. I mean, Wishing Well's a great song, but just the keyboards on the intro on that, and the kicks and the vocals. Come on, Mr. Crowley. That's it, man. You're in.
This is another one of those cover songs that, remember I was talking about before with Johnny's cover, was his band Jackal. They were great, and John, you covered this song, right?
Yes.
And you did it great. You guys did it great. And I remember this. I've always been a fan of this song. The intensity, the build up right off the whole beginning is just this an immense, and and then you have the payoff. All of a sudden you got Ozzy alone, Mr. Crowley, boom! It's holy shit. And then let's get to the next part. Randy Rhoads is telling a story in that lead.
Yeah.
There's a story.
Yeah.
He takes you on a different story. He takes you on a ride on a story throughout this lead thing, man. It's like, wow.
Not one, two leads, the outro too.
It's just, oh my God. And you want to hear more. You want to hear more. That's the mark of a great song. So to me, I mean, for me, this is definitive here for me. Wishing Well, great song, but it's not Mr. Crowley for me. That's all.
Am I the only one who kind of thinks of UFO when at the beginning of Wishing Well? Kind of reminds me of UFO.
Kind of got the vibe. I agree with that. Yeah,
totally reminds me of UFO a little bit. I really love Wishing Well, but I'm Mr. Crowley too. I mean, everything you guys are saying. And I found like going back to these, so much of it, and it's Ozzy Osbourne, but so much of it's about Randy. Like listening to these songs, because
absolutely.
Just, I mean, man, you can't separate Randy from. You can't separate him from the songs. You just can't do it.
This was the gift, this record was the gift of, having Randy out there, right? I mean, think about it. We didn't know about it. I didn't know about it. This was my introduction to Randy Rhoads. Like, oh my God, this exists, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's incredible.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I hear the phrase wishing well, and I think of Terrence Trent D'Arby.
Well, you need to stop that.
I know, and
that's a personal problem.
And as great.
I think we need to get you therapy after all this. With some of the stuff you're unleashing on
finally.
Although Terrence Trent D'Arby did have a good voice. I like this voice, that dude.
Yeah,
just put it out.
I mean, that's where Kotzen got his voice. That's where he copied it from. But yeah, that Sabbath tune is great. But dude, Mr. fucking Crowley.
Yeah,
that's another sweep.
It's a Zach Morris.
That's another sweep. All right, number 6, No Bone Movies versus Die Young.
Anybody who wants to start?
I'm gonna go. I think I think No Bone Movies is the filler on that record. It's terrible. I'll go Die Young.
Okay.
I agree with you. It's I don't think it's a terrible song. It's just not up to par with the others, but I get it. Everybody's got a filler, right? Die Young is obviously for me the better song here and just better put together. It's what I wanted to hear.
That's actually Die Young's one of my favorite songs off that record. I fucking love that song.
Underrated.
It is, and just the way that kicks in as well. And also, No Bone Movies, you're right about being a filler because they didn't play it on their first show. They played it the second show. Like it's the second show of the tour, and you putting together the set list of the record, and that was like, all right, we'll do that one later in the next show. So, I mean, it's a good song, but not next to Die Young. Sorry.
We lost Izzy.
No, I'm still here.
Oh, you're still there. I'm like, where the hell does he go?
No.
He went to therapy.
I needed it bad. Oh shit! My video's off. Sorry about that.
Yeah, your video's off. That's what I was saying.
Oh, shit, my bad. There we go.
This is Die Young for me too. Same thing you guys said. I don't need to fill airtime. No Bone just doesn't do it for me. And Die Young. So that's the first sweep for Black Sabbath because Izzy had to ruin the Heaven and Hell sweep.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Track number 7, Revelation, Mother Earth versus Walk Away. I will start with this. I am Walk Away on this one all the way. I think Walk Away, and it's got a rock feel to it, not even a metal feel. It's just kind of like just got a different groove to it than you expect from Sabbath, and I feel like there's a little bit of that on this whole second half of this on side 2 of this album. But Revelations just goes on a little too long for me. This is Walk Away from me.
No way, dude. Revelation, Mother Earth, fucking another classic song. Seeing that the first time and watching Randy Rhoads I had the goosebumps the whole night.
And maybe if I ever saw Randy Rhoads play it, that would be the other thing, because it's kind of, I would have a different feeling.
It was magical, man. Yeah.
Walk Away for me is my least favorite song on that record. So for me, and that's why Revelation. I get it. It does go on, but there's a lot of amazing stuff there, in that song. So for me, it's Revelation. It's just because there's so much great stuff. It does tend to go on a little bit, but I still love what's there.
Another one with the
Mother,
too.
Can you hear me? Yeah, dude, it's fucking Revelation. Dude, that song is just iconic.
You fucked that up.
I fucked that up. I did.
What?
I mean,
hey, you know what?
Great songs, man.
Yeah, this is tough.
At least I didn't tell you I had a threesome to the song.
Oh.
It wasn't just a threesome. It was devil's. Devil's threesome.
Okay. Track number 8. Steal Away versus Lonely Is the World.
I'm gonna go first. I'm gonna go Lonely Is the World. Steal Away, I was never a fan of. Even on Tribute, it was just like it was just there.
Okay. I'm gonna disagree with you. I'm gonna go second, and I'm just gonna very quickly disagree with you, and I'm going with Steal Away on this one.
I'm gonna go with Steal Away on this one also because I remember when I started learning the bass parts to this song specifically, there was so many great parts that I wanted to incorporate into other things I was doing. I can't. This is one of those songs I just kept listening to over and over. The melody's amazing, great big hook, blah blah blah. For me, Lonely Is the World is great, but Steal Away, I have to say, it's just hit me.
That's a tough one, man.
It's a tough one. Yeah. It's a definitely tough one. I want bass on this, Johnny. I want specific bass.
And going at it, looking at, and seeing it, like I said, for the first time, then playing it live, it's like,
yeah, that's tough.
That sounded great live, Steal Away. So I'm going to go with that one as well. Ooh. And great guitar solo.
Yeah, totally.
Solo.
Great riff, anyway.
It's fucking Randy. I mean, what the fuck?
Yeah, but I mean, he's fucking, it's just, I mean, the vocals on Lonely Is the World.
That's true, too. Yeah. That's tough.
It's funny. It's one thing that when I was texting with Trunk, he goes, dude, the performances on Heaven and Hell, but I'm like, yeah, but you can't argue with Ozzy's performance either, because a lot of people's like, well, he's not a great singer. It's like, that doesn't matter. What he did, it fit so perfectly.
Yeah.
His voice is fucking great. It's just he didn't sound like anybody else. Neither did Ronnie. But
also, I mean, it just comes back to again what we were talking about before. Remember, Randy.
Yeah.
Yes. Right.
Right.
You got to put that in there. It was so fresh sounding too. Incredible. Right. None of them. I mean, I haven't heard anything like that. I never heard anything like that when it came out. I was like, wow, this is just over the top, man, stuff with guitar playing, from the acoustic stuff to the scales he's done, just the innovation that he did. I mean, and then it's tough. This is a really tough one because I love both records. So, some of the picks are selfish, but it's tough.
But hold on. You talk about Randy, but Ozzy didn't sound like this in Black Sabbath. I don't think he sounded like this in Black Sabbath. Ozzy, I think, took it to another fucking level when he went solo, especially on these 2 records.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying he didn't. What I am saying is the difference is we still had Ozzy. It's still Ozzy's voice, right?
Yes.
Right.
The difference is this amazing piece of art is what I call Randy Rhoads. He was a true artist, and he came in and shared that what the beauty that he had, and I still think it's amazing. Listening to it today, it just hit. I hadn't heard it in a while, man.
Yeah,
just like when you do that, when you haven't heard it in a while, and you listen again, it's like my God.
But when it came out, there's something we never really heard before. I mean, you heard
exactly.
Van Halen, but that's different. I mean,
exactly. I mean, look, you go from "Has he lost his mind" to fucking people look to me and say,
You're not giving either one of them.
I know.
What are you doing? You're ruining it.
I think I got to change my first vote from I don't know to Neon Night.
No, you know what I mean.
You know, this was Ozzy. Remember that this is also Ozzy coming out on his own, is standing on his own now. That was an amazing time.
Something to prove, man.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. And then think about it, Dio with Sabbath. So think about these two great records, man. I mean, that's why I can't choose one.
Yeah,
we're very lucky that in our lifetime able to, have these records.
Right?
No, absolutely, and they both just Black Sabbath just technical perfection on everything they do, and then you listen, like you said, with Randy. I mean, I rediscovered those records with Randy, and it's just God, you just never look. Zach's great, Gus G was great, Jakey Lee great, but man, there was only one Randy, and I think any of those guys would agree to that. The guy was it was a completely different beast with him. And it's impossible to separate that. And I agree with you completely, Frank, because that was as much. If you asked me which album I like more, I'm going to tell you I like Heaven and Hell more. That's the album I like more.
It's true. Me see the same.
But you know what? All of us ended up, I mean, you, me, and Johnny, all three of us, 5-3 in favor of Ozzy. Mm-hmm. And Izzy was 6-2. But, I mean, I'll still, despite the fact that Ozzy won pretty convincingly, 21-11 when you add everything up, I will still tell you I prefer Heaven and Hell as a record. You match the songs up, it works out the way it works out.
Right.
But I still love Heaven and Hell.
I think as an album, Heaven and Hell is a better complete album. But dude, that Blizzard of Oz record,
it's fantastic.
When you go song to song, it's like, dude, it's a Zach Morris no-brainer. It's
great record.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Agreed.
So that's where I think it's interesting because I didn't expect this to end the way it did, but it was a good one.
I thought it would be a lot closer.
It's tough, man. This is a tough
one. And like you said, Paul, it is important. I'll still say when I go album to album, I'm going to say Heaven and Hell. But when you go from song to song, and it's not that no song is bad here. No song is bad. It's just like this is what. And also that was a time in my life. Remember that.
That always brings you back, man. Yeah.
That brings us back to Johnny and I in high school a lot, a big time. That was the popular thing, and we jamming on all that stuff. It was just a great time. I hope kids today have something like this in their life. I do.
Yes.
I can only hope that.
I hope
so
too.
School, go see Ozzy at the Palladium. Hang out all night. Make sure your parents are on vacation, and then wait at the hotel and have breakfast with them. And they'll play the next record. So
there you go.
When does that happen?
Yeah, does it? It's awesome.
There you go. Hold on.
And don't forget, everybody just has to knock on the Cult's bus door and ask for Johnny, and he'll take you to Denny's.
That's right.
I'm cooking breakfast on the bus. Come on.
That's
man.
right. That's right. Actually, I'd be asking the guitar player how he gets his tone. Because that tone might be the sickest fucking tone I've ever heard in my life.
That is a great tone.
Oh, sick.
Serious.
Hold on. Let me hit the Black Diamond outro music. Frankie Bello.
Yes, sir.
You guys got you got the book in the works.
Yeah.
With the album.
On the third edit right now. Third edit. Imagine that. Woohoo! Coming down.
Are you writing it on your own, or are you writing with somebody?
Joe MacGyver. You know Bass Player Magazine?
Yes.
Yes, he knows more stuff about my history than I do, which is great. So he lights the fuse, and then I remember stuff. It's great because he just has to remind me about it, and then I just start yapping away, and it's great. It's fun. We go at it pretty well. It's pretty good.
I was able to figure out how to run the lights, so I didn't have to read Bass Player Magazine.
He's here all week, folks.
My favorite fucking bass player joke ever. Johnny.
Yes.
What do you got, buddy?
Ready to rock, man. I can't wait to get back on tour and just get back to normal. Hopefully, things seem to be moving along. So I just, it'd be nice.
How is it in LA? Let me just ask a quick question. How is it in LA, guys? Is it still locked down big time? I don't know.
No, they finally did outdoor dining again. What, a couple weeks ago?
A couple weeks ago. I'll tell you that the turning point for me was seeing Johnny at the Rainbow the other night, because it actually felt like we've all been so isolated, and it was the first time we were actually out and it was like the rainbow where somebody walks in and you sit down and you just have a drink, and it was like
It felt normal,
awesome.
man. It really did.
I mean, were people
really
there?
Felt normal. There were people. Oh yeah, there's people there.
Oh, okay.
You can't. Here's the thing: you can't mill around. You have to be sitting at a table, and they have limits to how many people can be at the table. And it worked out really well for us because our party was leaving, so that we had empty seats, and then Johnny. It was awesome. It felt like normal. It was as close. And they are opening this week. I think they're saying they're going to go to opening 25% indoors here in LA.
This week?
Wow.
Is it this week?
That's what they said today. Starting this week, they're going to start the process. Yeah.
Yeah, like New York, it started at 25. Now it's up to 35 or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Little by little.
Better days ahead, boys.
Oh,
Yeah.
hold on.
Yeah,
Time out. Frankie, somebody wants to hear your Paul Stanley impression.
Listen, I don't just sell myself out to anybody. I just do what I want to do. Because I am the man. Hey, have you heard Paul's Soul Station stuff is good. I heard that.
I haven't heard it yet.
I heard that one song. I thought it was good, man. Good for Paul. He's doing different things. Cool.
Yeah,
I'm remotely surprised that it's good.
He's doing the stuff that he was giving Peter shit for doing, and now he's doing it.
See that?
All right, Paulie, what do you got, buddy?
It's just Instagram. Instagram's easy. Just I got so much going on now. Just Instagram at Paul Gargano and at Metal Edge Magazine.
Make sure you guys, if you are going to Nashville this summer for Rockin' Pod, I forgot to talk about this in my big news at the beginning of the show. There's two big news items. One, my ball deodorant has been shipped. So thank Lemmy for that. And also, I will be, maybe Paul too, we'll see, representing Monsters of Rock Cruise, Mega Cruise, and all the cruises, and Metal Edges, another fucking podcast. I will be at the Rockin' Pod Expo this summer in Nashville. I am very, 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 very excited about that. So, Frankie, Johnny, Paulie, Tommy, Izzy, whatever the fuck you want to call me. Yeah. You guys, Frankie and John, both of you, always welcome. Thank you so much.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, Izzy.
Frank,
This is fun. I love this.
Frankie, we'll be calling you for the Cheap Trick one.
I'm in, kid. I'm in.
That's going to happen. That's going to happen.
That Kiss one was good. You guys did too. I enjoyed it.
Thank you. You should hear the other Kiss ones we did. I'll send them to you.
Well, listen, we'll do another one soon.
We'll do another one. Exactly.
I love it. It's another fucking podcast, Metal Edge Magazine. My name is Izzy Presley. And, yeah, that's all I got. We'll see you next week. Oh, shit. Before we go, I must say this. What we are doing next week. Dude, it's fucking Slave to the fucking Grind against fucking Pantera. Fucking Cowboys from Hell. That's what we're doing next week. We'll see you then. I do love you all. My name is Izzy Presley, and I'm not going to say what I usually say. Good night.
Peace.
Good night.